Hello guys, back again to Game Tidbits, and this time we're going to talk about Bethesda's E3 conference. Now this is Bethesda's first E3 conference they ever did, and you made you wonder. You knew Fallout 4 was coming. They already teased that game. They already had a little teaser out already for it, so you knew they were going to show Fallout 4, right? And I wondered if Doom would be there because it has kind of been well known for a couple years. They've been working on a new Doom, especially this year. They've been more aggressive in admitting it than ever before. Wasn't sure what we're going to get again. When you think of Bethesda, sometimes you don't realize they own id, they own Arcade Studios, they own a bunch of studios underneath their wings that you just think of Bethesda and you don't think of, well, they're actually bigger than you think they are. And so they start off showing Doom from id, and I love Doom. I had Doom 3 on the PC. I beat Doom 1 and 2 when they were, in the 90s when they were out. I own Final Doom and that stuff on Steam because I like Doom. Here's the thing. Doom 3 is still a graphically impressive game to this day. It is no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. It is still a really impressive game. But Doom looked amazing. They're just naming it Doom, so I'm assuming because Bethesda owns it, they're either rebooting it again, which Doom 3 was kind of a reboot. But anyway, I'm assuming they're just gonna, we own it now, let's just a clean slate. I guess it's just going to be Doom. But, of course, you're going to be in Mars and you're going to be in Hell. Kind of staples of the franchise at this point anyway. But graphically, the game looked amazing. One of the most amazing things about the game, when we were watching it, was every time you used a chainsaw on an enemy, you did it differently. It wasn't the same motion every time. It was the way you tore into them and stuff was different. The way you hit them with something was different every time. And there are I almost want to call them this first-person shooter Mortal Kombat moves, but when you go up to an enemy and do these moves, and it seems like you got to face down, which I guess would kind of leave you vulnerable. Could be wrong. But you run up to an enemy, and one of them they rip the head open, one they rip the jaw off, one they rip the eyeball off of one. I mean, it was graphical, ripping a part of the chest off and shoving it down its throat. It was very graphical gore, which is a Doom game. You saw Doom 3 a lot. It was a very graphical game. They've amped up the gore. And the weapons looked amazing. The enemies looked really good. And they looked fast-paced. This game, at one point, seemed to kind of take some cues from Halo, from Destiny, a little bit. Just a little bit. Not enough to change anything. But the weapons selection kind of reminded me of Gears of War in a way. It looked like it again. With a little bit we've seen in the trailer, it looked that way. Maybe it's not. And some people say, well, that's not Doom. Well, you got to kind of improve little things, like the double jump we saw in the trailer. You got to improve little things to be modern in the game. You can't just keep it all old school. But again, Doom is known for the guns, which there are those guns that do a lot of damage and really cool stuff. The one weapon that looked like it launched, crazy stuff. It looked very gory, and the graphical detail was amazing. And it looked really good, and I'm really excited for Doom. But the most exciting part of Doom was this, they call it the Snap Map, I believe it is, which is user content made for the game. Now, of course, Doom has always had a massive community of user content, of user doing this kind of stuff, and it's always cool to see a developer, kind of embrace that like it has always done. And so with that, people are going to be able to, there's a content area which they show a little of it, and it looks really easy to make stuff, and it looks really fast. And they show where you can change commands and stuff, so you could get really detailed with your level design, and then you could go practice it before you put it out there for other people to try. And of course, this will be cool because you and your friends, if you want to make your own, or if you want to find out where you created one, give you several thousands of maps and options to play, not just a game, which leads to hours of more gameplay, right? I mean, if you love Doom and you know this is the game I'm going to play from now till the next one, which who knows how long that will be, then the content creator is a major thing. Listen, the one thing about PC games, this will be on next gen, this gen and PC. All these games announced, and this is going to be a theme through E3. Last generation is going to be forgot about. It's just they're trying to push it into next generation, and so the games are only going to be, a lot of these games are going to be developed for next gen and PC. And so, on PC, games are still very active. They're not dead, so that's a cool thing that the Snap Map ability. And then they showed another game after it, which really wasn't that important. It was a beta, and I felt bad for the game because it was another like shooter, but more like kind of like Team Fortress 2 silliness in the sense it seemed to it. But unfortunately, almost World War II Japanese setting to me, the way the aesthetic of that game was. But unfortunately, it was another like shooter game shown after Doom, and it just was like, oh, here's Doom. Oh, look, here's the filler game I don't really care about. Get to the games I do. And then the game after that, they showed a trailer to, which was Dishonored 2. I never played Dishonored, so I wasn't like super hyped as other people, but it did this unveil a little this teaser of the story. Same person's back. That's the main character from the last one, the female. It looked really interesting. It makes me actually want to go back and play the first one now. But again, not coming out this year, but it's cool that they showed it. I know the other thing that came out was you are going to have remastered versions of Dishonored for PS4 and Xbox One in case people didn't play it, which is cool for people who didn't play it. But then we got to the one that everybody's waiting for, Fallout 4. Now I'm going to say this. I own Fallout 3 on the 360. I own the Pit and Operation Anchorage here. And I got this game originally because I always knew about Fallout 1 and 2 on PC, but I never picked them up. But I loved Elder Scrolls after I played Oblivion, because I never played Elder Scrolls to Oblivion, and on the PC, and I fell in love with that game. Just walking around, in the world and stuff at the time, it seemed like a full world, which really didn't fully get realized till Skyrim, which I own on the 360 also. And because the same people, made Fallout 3, I picked it up. Kind of loved the world game thing, and I went and picked it up, and I actually liked the game. I never finished it, unfortunately. I kind of got stuck. I couldn't get to around to a place I needed to go for some reason, and I got stuck in the game. But I played several hours. I played 30 hours into the game. Instead of when the evil guy walked to me about the nuclear bombing, I just shot him. I didn't even wait to make a decision. I just shot him instantly, and that was my decision. But that game was really impressive because, again, it was another full world. There's a lot to do, a whole world to explore, a lot to do. And so I was excited for Fallout 4. And listen, Bethesda with these type of games has always exceeded expectations. One of the things, and I heard about Fallout 4, people complaining about the graphics. What Elder Scrolls and Fallout always have to kind of sacrifice some graphics for you to get a full world exploring, random generated experience. If they were to worry about graphics like the top of the line graphics, you're never going to get that full experience. Now, in this E3 presentation, it looked graphically really good. It did not look really bad like people claimed it did last time. It looked really good to me. But they officially did say Fallout 4 will be in Boston. They show that you can design both the parents, what they look like, and based on what you do to the parents actually determines the kid. Because the story is, this game takes off before the bombings happen, the nuclear fallout, in Boston, around Boston, and you end up being the sole survivor of Vault 111, 200 years after the bombing happened. So they didn't explain why you went in 200 years before and came out 200 years after, but 200 years later, you're the sole survivor that comes out of that vault. And you thought, okay, this will be a Fallout game. I hope they fix the shooting a little bit, but graphically it looked really good. They showed some of the creatures. But what blew me away was the amount of things you're going to be able to do in this game. So, for someone like me who collects everything in a game just to collect it, in this game, junk matters because you can scrap it and use it to build stuff, which could be a bad thing for me. But, so they showed you building a house, or you could build a dog house. You can build your dwelling, how you want to build it. They also showed, to take it a step further, okay, you have this power source, and you run a wire on the stick, and then you run another wire to this light, and here's a switch, and you can turn it on and off. Or you can hook a generator up to it. Things to seriously make you OCD. And you can make weapons, and you can set it all up how you want to defend your place, because you're going to have to, and power and other stuff. This is oh my gosh. This is like, for example, Sims mixed with a little Minecraft, just a touch, not full, with a mix of tower defense, right? As someone put it bluntly, Fallout 4 has every game ever made into it together in one game. On top of all that, just to make it crazier, there's 50 weapons in the game and over 500 mods to those weapons you can make. Just to take it even further, like a step further for you, like, oh, that wasn't enough, right? And obviously, they didn't explain how big it is, but obviously you're going to have a really big place to explore, and, you know, they showed a bunch of creatures really quick in the trailer, and it looked amazing. And later on, they showed some more of the game, too, and the game looked amazing. It showed your dog attacking, you know, bad guys. The game is just impressive. The scope of the game, what you can do in the game, exceeds Fallout 3. I mean, if you're a Fallout fan, this game is going to obviously be the game you want to get. I mean, I just can't believe it. It blew me away. It made me want to play Fallout 3 to get ready for Fallout 4. And the most coolest part was they announced the game is going to be out November 10th this year. So you're not going to have to wait long. It's going to be out for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. So depending on what platform you have, you better get ready. If you have a PC, you might need to upgrade your graphics card for this game because, again, it looks really cool. And I was very excited for it. I most definitely want to get it. So Bethesda had a really great E3. They brought back the X-Play people, which, of course, is Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb, to be, like, before the show started, the pre-show. And then, again, they were doing interviews after the actual conference was over. But overall, Bethesda had a really strong showing for their first E3. It was really exciting. I mean, simply between today was really cool for E3 because the Nintendo Smash Brothers, with all the exciting news coming out of there with the new amiibos and the new skins for Smash Brothers and obviously new characters, Nintendo World Championships, and now this was an awesome start to E3. Can't wait to see what we get tomorrow and Tuesday. But what do you guys think of Bethesda's conference? Did you excited for it? Did you just go there for Fallout 4, or were you excited to see Fallout 4 and Doom? What were you excited to see about the conference, and what are you excited for? Love to hear your guys' thoughts like always, and I'll make another video soon. Later.